couple things I want to alert you to why I think the water softener is not softening any longer, especially it's very obvious on plastic items. Like there's just, my water's very hard, so there's a lot of white, it's probably like calcium or something, I don't know what it is, but anyways, you're gonna have a film on all your stuff. I mean, my glasses might look okay on camera, but I know they don't look clean. And also it's been mentioned to me in the family that things seem a little bit grippy in the shower and whatnot. So normally if your water is really soft, it feels very smooth when you have a shower. So anyways, those are indications you might be having some trouble. So you're having some issues with your GE water softener. This one's been installed for about 3 years. I did an installation video, so check that out. But hey, I always said if I ran into an issue, I'd follow up, and here I am 3 years later. It has been running flawlessly, but run into a problem. I believe it's not softening the water any longer, so we're gonna do a little bit of an investigation here, sort it out. So the first thing you need to do, go ahead and get the lid off of this thing. It just pops off, just like that. Now the first thing you want to do, what could cause this? Your water does not seem to be soft anymore. The first thing it might be is maybe it's not filling up with water. So in the reservoir here, there's that cap I just took off there. That's where the float assembly is. Now, you won't probably, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but get a light, get a flashlight, shine it way down there, and you should see that there's like several inches of water in there. It's really hard for me to judge how much is in there. I'm thinking maybe 4 or 5 inches at least. That's the first thing to look at. If there's no water in there, then it's certainly a problem with it filling up, and that's not what I'm addressing today because it has water in the bottom. Okay, so that's a good sign. And of course, the very basic thing, well, make sure you have salt in your water softener. That's pretty obvious, but I'll mention that anyway. Now the next thing, get this lined up here. This is probably, this is what I'm going to go with after doing some reading and investigation. Just out of the way here. This is the Venturi that sucks the salt water out of the system when it's regenerating. And there's some screens and stuff in there that probably need cleaning. So the first thing that you want to do is take the water softener out of service. So you have to push in here, that closes it. Okay, and the next thing we want to do, let's open up this, it's called a Venturi, very common on many water softeners, so not really specific to this one, might look a little bit different. But let's get a hold of this, and, oh, that's on there tight. Oh, there we go. So let's take this apart. And here we go. My water is extremely hard, so I'm not going to be surprised if there's going to be some sort of clog in here. So I'm just going to take the parts out. And yes, yeah, even looking at it now, it looks like could be some issues in here. But let's get all the pieces out. I may have to get, okay, I'm gonna have to go and get a little screwdriver or something to grab a hold of the other pieces. Okay, I'm back. I have a little wee screwdriver. It's just, I don't know, I couldn't get a hold of the piece in here. Here we go, there's a little rubber piece here. Set that aside. Oh, and there's a wee tiny little, oh, I have to be careful. Honestly, I didn't even really see that, but there's a little tiny screen in there. And this little wee thing, I don't know if you can see it, but it was fitting down in this position here. So I'll have to make sure to get that back in there. So yeah, you have to be careful. So be careful. Don't lose anything. And We'll see what else is in here. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. One more little piece, a little rubber thing. Wow. And this little wee, it has a little hole in it, so it's very fine. Like the water has to be able to go through there. And that came out right in the center here. That's where that little round rubber piece was. Okay, so we're looking good. My screwdriver is actually small enough. I can poke down in that hole, poke down in this one. Everything looks good. So let's go upstairs and get this cleaned out. Okay, so I have all the parts here in a little bowl. I'll zoom in here and we'll take a closer look. Now you need to be very careful because there are some very small pieces in here. I put a plug in my drain in case for some reason I drop something. I don't want it to go down the drain. But this was the cap. You can see my water is very hard. It has a lot of iron in it. So I'm gonna have to clean that out. This is that main screen. And it actually looks fairly, it looks kind of plugged up. That little rubber piece that I took out. In this red piece, there's another rubber piece here. You might want to pop that out or just make sure the hole is clear. And just the O-ring helps to seal everything in. So these are all the parts. And what I'm going to do, spray this down with a little bit of vinegar. That will take out any calcium deposits. It really will help remove, oh, look at that. Like you can just see the dirt. I'm not sure if you can, I'm out of stuff here. But I mean already there's, I don't know if you can see in there, but there's a lot of grime in there, and that is not a good thing to have in something with such little wee water flow parts in it. Easily be plugged up. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to soak this for a while in a little bit of vinegar, scrub it all down, clean it up good, make sure there's no more little particles in there because that's just crazy. And yeah, and then we'll go and put it back together. Okay, good way to clean this. Get out our toothbrush, clean all the parts. I have another bowl over here on the other side of my sink here. Use your toothbrush, clean each part. Get all the grime out of there. Rinse it off good. That's just the O-ring, it's pretty clean. You can see the dirt on here. Get all that grime out of there. Rinse, rinse, rinse. And again, be very careful, like a lot of these parts float. So make sure you don't accidentally, you know, if you're rinsing out your bowl or whatever, that they don't float over the edge and go down the drain. That's just going to cause you all kinds of trouble. But yeah, it looks like everything's all done up nice here. And just a point of mention, if these two little, they both have little holes in them. I know it's hard to see, but they both look really similar, very close in size, but one does have a bigger hole than the other one. The one with the smaller hole, now they have little markings on them, on one side anyway, and the other side's a little bit concave. But for all these parts, including this one, when they go back in, if there's a marking on it, that side needs to be up. Okay, so if there's any writing on these little, I'll call them like, they're kind of like little grommets, make sure the writing's up. The one with the smaller hole goes back into this red cap with the writing up. And this one, I'll show you when we get back downstairs. It will go into that centerpiece down below. So just make sure that the concave is down, you can feel it, and the writing is up on any parts. Okay, we'll go to the next step. Okay, let's put this Venturi together. We'll start off with the little rubber, I don't know, it's kind of like an O-ring. I don't know the right name. Sorry. Anyways, the one that has the bigger hole, we're going to put that in first. Goes right in the center. Remember, numbers up and that concave side down. I think it's like a Venturi valve or something like that. The next one is that little wee tiny screen. Now, from what I read, it's beveled, so the pointy end goes down into that little hole on the right. Set that in there. Looks good. The next piece is that rubber gasket. Now there's a little notch here, notch here. Let's make sure I get the right, yeah, okay, the right side's up there. Again, there's some numbering on there. So we'll set that down in there. Looks good. Next is the big screen. Doesn't really look like it has any, you don't have to put it in, oh no, it does have a notch there. Look at that. There's a little notch there. Line that up. Okay, good. Oh, see, this is why you need to watch the video, because I made a mistake. Before you put the screen in, this guy here goes down. And then that screen goes on there. Finish it off with the plastic ring. And then the O-ring, and what you need to do, get a little bit of, this is just petroleum jelly. Brand name probably, as everyone knows it, is Vaseline, but you know, you don't need a lot on there. Just sort of, just helps it seal. Set that down there. And I still have a little bit on my fingers. I'm just going to put a little bit on the threads here. That will help when if I ever have to take it off again, which I'm sure could possibly happen in the future. Okay, there we go. Last but not least, the lid. And this, you know, clockwise. Take your time. once it snugs up, you don't want to overly tighten it, just sort of snug it up a little bit there. And then basically you're ready to go. And so let's turn this into, I guess it's when it's pushed in, it's on bypass, and now to pull it out means it's in service.